Hello, I'm Dave, and welcome to episode 51 of On the Bench. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, and all good podcast apps. While you're there, don't forget to mark us as your favourite so that you never miss a show. In this episode, we're joined by Michael Gibson to talk about old and second-hand kits. Do you love them? Do you hate them? How do you make them shine against today's modern multimedia kits? And of course, we'll be taking a look at what's new in the modelling world. But first, a huge shout out to our latest Patreon supporter, Jason Mushhagen. If you'd like to be a modelling legend like Jason, simply go to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from $1 upwards. Your ongoing support helps to cover our production and publishing costs and are greatly appreciated by the team. Fine Scale Modeller is proud to support On the Bench. Fine Scale Modeller is the world's most recognised modelling magazine and is available in all good newsagents or wherever you purchase magazines. Alternatively, go to the website www.finescale.com and take out a subscription, and you'll instantly receive a free gift. 6 basics of scale modelling, which will show you step-by-step instructions of basic techniques, tools of the trade, painting, decaling, weathering, and more to help you build great models. And now on with the show. And hello and welcome to the show, and g'day Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day listeners.
G'day Julian.
Hello.
And welcome back to our special guest, Michael. How are you, mate?
Good. Thank you for having me again.
Excellent. So what have we all been up to? I'm going to start with you, Ian, because I know you've been doing a lot.
I was on a man with a mission last weekend, and I managed to finally finish off the Shikaku itself.
Excellent.
So, all the photo etching. So good to have all those empty photo etch frets and seeing it all come together. And, geez, it's got a lot of presence, this thing. It's a huge kit.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting on the 33 aircraft.
Looks good in the photos that you put on Facebook. Looks really good.
Yeah, it's coming quite well. Very happy with it.
Can't wait to see it in the flesh. You bringing the model club this Friday? No, too big.
I'm so worried that I'm going to break something. It's going to go from my place to Expo, and from if someone throws money at me at Expo, they can take it with them.
There you go. Julian, you've been busy as well.
Yeah, I think we've all spent the Easter break.
Finish your kit?
Yeah. I finished the Lexington, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all done. I only ended up using the Wildcats, not the Devastators or the Dauntlesses.
So there's, 6 aircraft sitting on the back deck, I think, from memory?
Yeah, 6. Because they're the only ones that look right when they're on it, because none of the other ones have torpedoes or bombs or anything on them.
And 700 scale, too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm having a lot of fun in 1/350 scale, let alone 1/700 scale doing aircraft. Goodness.
Yeah. I also just wanted it done, you know?
Yep.
And I got to the end and I'm like, I should do a bit of rigging. So I put a couple of wires up and I'm like, oh, yeah. So there's a lot of details missing from the kit that don't enable me to put most of the
rigging on.
There are all kinds of poles and things all over it that just aren't there, and I just don't have anything to glue it to.
Yeah, well, I had to scratch build a lot of anchoring points for my aerial masts and so forth for the rigging on those, because they just didn't come with the kit. But Robert Madden lent me a book on a guy who scratch built a 1/100 scale Zuikaku.
Okay.
Which was I think it was the sister ship of the Shikaku, the Zuikaku.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was a real eye-opener. There was a lot of stuff that he had on his that, being the sister ship of the Shikaku, I could go, oh yeah, that's how that mounted there. So I scratch built a little bit here and there, and very happy chappy that it's all done now.
It's good when they have sister ships that you can look to for reference, isn't it?
Exactly.
Except with the Japanese Navy, no two ships are ever the same.
No.
And that was a whole problem with their the entire fleet back then.
Well, I also found out that all the plans and all that for all the ships were stored on board the ships.
Yes, yeah.
So when the ship sunk,
yep,
everything was gone.
Yep.
That's why there's not much information on Japanese ships because most was at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. And no two ships were so. Even though they were sister ships, they'd run corridors in different ways, and they'd do all sorts of different weird and wonderful things. And they sort of, it's almost like a child building a Lego. They sort of build it as they went, not sort of follow the plans. So very odd.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, although there's something about their destroyers with those raked funnels that just look fast.
Yeah.
So you've got to give it to, at least they look good, I guess.
They're very hot rod looking. They look like
absolutely.
like the Corvettes that have the pipes that come out the side, then run down, and then out downwards.
Oh, the Stingray.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nah.
You're wrong. Okay. Anyway, so I've been working on the Lexington, got that down.
Yep.
And I've jumped straight into the Helldiver.
I've got to say, I've seen photos on Facebook, on their Facebook page of your Helldiver, and I'm just loving the etch that's inside there. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it does. Except for
so backtrack. What scale and what kit?
Oh, it's a 48 scale Helldiver. It's originally a Monogram Pro Modeler kit. It got reboxed later for Accurate Miniatures and I think a few other people.
So it's an old kit?
Yeah, it's an old kit. And I've got an old boxing of it. The box wants to fall apart. I have to keep that box inside another box.
Well, funny you should have that because we're talking about old kits today. So
yes, exactly. So, I've had a lot of fun with this. It's actually really good to get the earlier boxings because generally the molds are fresher when they were made.
They haven't been dinged around.
Yeah. Yeah, well, as they get used up, they get worn down. And
has it got raised panel lines on it?
No. It's really good. It's got photo etch in it, in the kit. Like
what? Well, it can't be that old then.
No. Well, I don't know.
It's early photo etch, Dave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly just like
wiring harness.
Yeah, wiring harness type thing or whatever it is.
A couple of seat belts and that's about it.
No, it's got the dive brakes.
Oh, that's right. It does too. Yeah.
Yeah. So out of the box, it's a pretty good kit. But once you throw all the aftermarket stuff at it, it's even better.
Yeah. Aries does a really nice wheel well set for that thing.
Yep, I've got that.
Same here.
And I've got all the Eduard photo etch for it, inside and out. So I'm getting around to that. Although I'm because they just provide.
Have you
photo
come
etch.
up with a scheme yet?
Yeah, I've got a scheme. I've got some Montex masks to spray it. Very nice.
So which ships it off?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I just picked the one that I was just like, okay, of the ones I've got available to me, that one's the coolest looking, so I'll do that one. I think it's got.
I think I bought a Victory Publications decal set for the 48 scale Helldivers, and it must come with 30 different schemes.
Oh, it would.
And I'm using 4 decals.
Yeah.
Out of this whole massive I think it's nearly 2 A4 sheets.
There's something nice about a decal sheet, and you look at it and you go, "Oh, it's very
inspiring."
Well, inspiring, but it's just nice to sort of have sometimes. Just sit there and look at it and go, "Oh, that's nice."
Yep, totally agree.
I don't know. I'm a bit odd.
Hey, look, I got a couple of folders full of decal sheets myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like your generation has like this big backlog of decals that you've accumulated.
Yeah.
During that era when there were decals everywhere. Nowadays, not that many companies. A lot of the companies that printed your decals are out of business.
Oh yeah.
I can't get hold of them.
Yeah. Yeah, like the good old pin-up decals.
Yes.
They were great. They had some really nice nose art.
Yeah, so I mean, like I've got Montex masks for mine, and there's 2 schemes in it, which is enough. I'll be able to spray all the markings on, and it's got some nice little sort of diagonal sort of shapes that go on the wing, which is odd, but I like it. It's cool.
Diagonal.
Yeah, sort of like they're like triangular, like
2 triangles butting against each other,
sort of pointing at each other, kind of thing, right? So yeah, it's almost like a.
I should know which ship that's off.
And in any case, I found a photo of the original plane, and it's like sort of as it's extending its wings, so I can see. Because one of the questions I have is whether it had ordnance on it, because I like to, know if it actually had ordnance on it in the photos provided, because then I'll put it on, right? But it's all you can see from this angle, because it's from above and behind. You can't see if it's got any bombs on it whatsoever.
Can you see if it's got a Yagi aerial?
A what?
A Yagi aerial.
What's that?
So some
directional finding antenna. A Yagi.
Yagi.
You know what Yagi is?
No, I don't. Do I look
the
like I know?
generation nowadays, I tell you.
Yeah.
You're just withholding it from me. Because
A Yagi, it sort of looks like a TV antenna on the side,
Yeah.
except it's missing it's only got 4 antennas that stick off the horizontal.
Correct.
And
They're usually hung underneath the wing.
they use it when you watch David Attenborough shows and they put a chip on some animals and they go chasing it through the bush to try and find it. They're running along with it's called a Yagi stick, and that's what or Yagi antenna. That's what they're looking for with the animal. Do you know what I'm talking about now?
No. That's a hard no. I don't know. You went off into like animals and stuff. I'm like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. They use
going?
when they're tracking animals, they put a receiver, a transceiver on an
Yeah,
animal,
okay, well,
and they catch and release. They use the Yagi
So you've
to
told
track
me
it.
about this thing that I don't know, and you've described it with another thing that I don't know about.
Michael, what have you been doing since we last saw you?
Still building. Always building. Admiral Kurtzenov.
Admiral Kuznetsov is being
Yeah.
built.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Nearly there.
Excellent.
Nearly at paint for the deck. The island's already been built and painted.
Yep.
Indianapolis is nearly there. 148 Osprey, nearly there.
Oh, that'd be nice. Who?
No.
No? Who did that one?
It's Larry. It's
Yep.
lacking. It's lacking in detail.
Yeah, but a master builder like you'd be able to make up for that.
Well, thank you. And I've started a CH46 with full Edward
Oh, lovely.
PE, and it's beautiful. You can't go wrong with Edward PE.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yep.
It's better than Wham or Gold Medal.
I agree.
That's all.
Flywalk's pretty good
Those
too.
are a lot of really big kits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've also got a Viper, a couple of amphibs, and maybe
Viper chopper, 35th scale or 48.
48.
Okay,
I
I've built
I
that.
tend to
sorry,
build in the same scale for the same subject. So if it's aircraft, 48.
Okay,
If it's a ship, 350, armour, 35.
Yeah.
okay.
Constant scale builder.
Yep.
That's what we like.
I've built that Viper and I did not have a nice time.
Hang on, I'm doing the Kitty Hawk.
Yeah, the Kitty Hawk one. Yeah,
Are you going to do the Academy?
the 35th scale one. No, I am in a group that builds that, but I've no interest in doing it just yet.
Why didn't you like the Kitty Hawk?
Because it's Kitty Hawk.
Yeah, that's the simple answer. I mean, it's pretty rare to see a chopper in 48 scale that decides to keep the entire tail as two separate pieces for the majority of it. I mean that's their kind of thing. They tend to break up their fuselages and bodies into.
They don't do a lot of slide mold. They don't
No.
do a lot of slide injection
No,
mold.
and the details are a little soft. They have like texturing on their fuselage. It's kind of like rough, like sandpaper or something.
You might have got a bad kit. Mine's smooth.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying mine.
It still feels smooth, but it's not like shiny smooth like Tamiya kits are, right? It's not like that.
I don't have that many Tamiya kits.
Something wrong
I've
with
only
you.
got Enterprise.
Well, that's probably one of the better Tamiya kits to get if you're going to have a Tamiya kit. The Enterprise, jeez.
No, sitting at home is Enterprise and a couple of armor pieces.
Yep.
That's about it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I've got a lot of new Airfix and Kitty Hawk, a couple of Pandas, Hobby Boss,
Oh.
Trumpeter.
Panda's Kitty Hawk.
Yeah,
That's their armor division.
I'm disappointed with the Panda. Let's just not talk about the Panda.
Well, there's not that much difference between the two, is there?
Well, the plastic was green and soft, and you could not get a good cut. It was like really old Italy plastic, where it was dark.
Or the old Esky plastic, yeah.
And you go for a cut, and it come away white, and it wouldn't be clean, and that's been some work.
I reckon the best colour was a Malv P40N I had, and that was in lime green plastic.
Ugh.
It was just the most brightest lime green.
Water pistol plastic.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they must have been pumping out water pistols before they made that one.
Water pistols and kazoos.
Yep. But lime green.
Oh, jeez.
And I've been doing some research for my Graf Zeppelin.
Ah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, that's still on the cards.
You got one, haven't you, Ian?
Yes.
You haven't started yet.
Nope.
Yep.
I won't be building any carriers for a while now.
Why?
Well, I've got no idea where I'm putting this one when it's finished.
Yeah, I'm going to build another shed or extend the house.
Yeah, one of those. Or rent another one, bigger house.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Get a bigger place.
Well, I have finally finished my cruiser. So that's all done bar the aircraft, and I've started on that now.
Yep.
So like you guys, I've had a really sort of busy Easter where I've just managed to sit down and just really punch through and get all the stuff out of the way that I wanted to get out of the way.
Yeah, you got your what is it? I forgot what it's called. Your ship that you got done over the.
You know, I'll forget the name of the ship too. It's an IJ cruiser. That one.
Right.
Cruiser.
The sister ship to the Megami.
Yeah. I can't think of the name of it is. Oh, it's escaped me. Never mind.
Because what I did over the Easter break was I set myself goals. By the end of the day, I want to have that done.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Day,
No.
and I managed to do it all.
No.
Mind you, there were some very late mornings. So I managed to get it done.
No, I just powered in. And you know what? This kit, I had the most enjoyable time doing the rigging. Everything just went together so well.
What'd you use?
I use Yushi's rigging line.
That's what I used on this one.
But
as
you know
well,
what? I'm looking at it now, and it's as good as it is. I think I need to go back to the Easy line. And the reason is the Easy line is larger, and although it's slightly overscale for 1/350 scale, it stands out more. Whereas Yushi, you got to look at it; it almost looks like a spider web. It's the right scale of the size of the ship, but it just doesn't show up. So I think I need to compensate for that for the next 1/350 and just go a slightly larger one.
Well, you get
albeit
different,
overscale
you get
and-
different sizes for Ushis.
Yeah, it's true too. It's true.
Yeah,
Put,
so
put some paint on it.
No, I'll just leave it black.
You're saying the paint will thicken it up.
No, I'll just leave it. I'm happy.
It's done. It's done. I'm
It's
not-
done. I
not
don't want to
touching
touch it anymore. I don't want it to go ding. So I'm just finishing the aircraft off now. So they're all painted. I've just got to gloss coat them, put the decals on, gloss coat them again, assemble them, and then flat coat the whole lot, and I'm done for the aircraft, and that's it. And then my next kit, I'm going to be building aircraft. I've had enough of ships for a while now.
Yeah, you got to build that. Was it the Emily flying boat?
No, that won't happen. I had a look at it, and it's got a big piece of plastic missing under one of the wings, and I'm not going to sit there and muck around with that, I don't think. So I'll give it back to the guy who gave it to me, I think.
You're not a model builder.
I am a model builder, but I choose the subjects.
Are you calling him a kit assembler?
Hey, come on, if it gets too hard.
No, I haven't even started. I've looked at it and gone, no, for the time frame I've got left, I'm not going to be mucking around with that. So,
But it's tiny.
moving on,
on,
I have broken
what
my
aircraft?
rules, and as you know, when I last spoke in the last podcast, I went and bought a Gundam kit, so I broke my self-imposed drought in buying a model. So I've now gone and bought another armour kit, which is the AFE Club Australian Army Centurion, which I'm really looking forward to building for our club display for next year.
And this one will be painted, won't it?
Yes, it will, yeah. Nice olive drab.
Oh, it's a nice new boxing too.
And after having a look at the etch work that Julian did, I went and bought one of those roller sets that you use for getting those gun tubs and everything all nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought that from B&A Hobbies, and I'm keen to... Although now that I'm building ships for a little while on aircraft, I'm not going to have a chance
That's
to use
a
it.
big bugger, that one, isn't it?
Is that larger than the one you got?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Is it really?
Yep. It's different, too. It's got something. You can make grab handles and all sorts of groovy stuff in it.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I got it, because it's got the grab handle thing on the end.
Is that the one
Oh,
you've
so you got the same one, did you,
Yeah, yeah.
Julian? Oh, there you go.
No, it's got the RB tools.
You went for you got seduced by the shiny metal and went the coloured aluminium.
the anodized purple.
Is it purple?
Yeah.
Because I've seen it in red.
Yeah, it shows up on their website as red, but when you get it home, it's actually purple.
Oh, jeez.
So I call it the Royal Edition.
There you go, the Royal Edition.
Dave, what is aircraft you going to do? Modern or period?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to do modern. I've got a couple of water bombers It's done by Canadair. I think they did those water bombers. And so I'm going to build 2 of them in 1/144th. 1/144th scale. I got that right, yeah.
Because they're big. And to do them in 148 would be huge.
Oh, it would be a bit too big. So that's just a project for me that I'm going to do, and I'll knock them out. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'll looking forward to getting cracking into them and have a lot of fun. All right, gents, how about we move right into what's new in the modelling world? And there's been a little bit happening. First of all, Bronco Models have announced in 1/350 scale they're going to be doing a British Army ATV quad bike and trailer with soldiers. It's not particularly a subject that sort of grabs my fancy, but I'm sure that there'll be some models out there who would be very interested in perhaps looking at this.
Well, it'd be good for diorama, right? As a sort of an addition to like a main vehicle.
Put it with a
centerpiece.
4x4 or a 6x6 MRAP.
Oh yeah, it would. Yeah, it would go much better with the faster vehicles. Yeah.
Yep. EOD team.
And modern war stuff is so popular at the moment, like Afghanistan and even going back to Iraq. Well, Afghanistan's still going on, I guess, in some respects. But a lot of the modelers are sort of gravitating to that new modern equipment. So this looks like it's going to be a really good kit if, as I said, this sort of subject grabs your interest. But
being
from
Bronco,
the
it's going to be sillily, crazily over-engineered.
Well, the CAD drawings aren't showing it being over-engineered that much.
Yeah, it's Bronco, though. I've built a few Bronco kits, and boy, are they over-engineered.
Slide moulding they're using, which is a hallmark now of all good sort of modelling companies. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what people have to think about that.
I'm actually seeing a very diverse kit there. You could paint that red, blue, make it look like a civilian bike.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You could have a lot of fun
So
with it.
many different diorama options.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now, this is a Luft 46 subject, and it is from a company that I've never heard before. I don't even know how to pronounce the name.
Pepperlatz.
BB lads.
You guys come across this company before?
Nope.
All right. So it is a Henschel HS P130, which is a pusher aircraft. As I said, Luft 46.
It's a pretty cool looking little vehicle.
Awesome looking thing. They haven't actually started. They've started doing the. If I can just sort of scroll down, they've got the instructions done, and it's going to be resin because they've actually 3D printed the kit, and from the 3D prints, they're going to be using them as the actual
Master.
Thank you, the master, and then from there, I'm assuming they'll be doing the resin sort of molds and then doing it on.
Mm-hmm.
The pictures we're seeing of the 3D printed masters look really good for a 3D printed kit, actually. So in 1/72 scale, you know what? This might just fit the bill, and I'm quite sure that a lot of those you guys out there who enjoy building Luft 46, and we should get somebody in to talk about Luft 46. We haven't done that subject yet. I know it's quite popular out there.
Yeah.
For you guys who enjoy Luft 46, this one is really going to get your juices flowing. From Meng have announced one of your favourite tanks, Julian.
Yes.
Sherman. So they're doing the M4A3, which is a 76. Meng's doing a new version of this, which is going to be in 1/35 scale. What do you reckon, Julian?
It looks cool. When the thing is like the current standard for Shermans is the Tasker kit, right? Well, when I say Tasker kits, they have a lot of Shermans in their lineup. I believe they're now called Asuka.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Although some people apparently have had, because it's manufactured differently under Asuka, some people are getting like sinkholes and things like that in their kits. So something to be aware of. But they're generally accepted as like really, really well engineered kits. But there's always room for more, I think.
Well, the release date isn't fixed for this one, but I'm just looking at the parts count, 1,190. So I'm assuming a lot of those parts are going to be in the tracks, surely.
Yes. Yeah, because the Tasker kits have rubber tracks, which is what you want with a Sherman, because you never see the sag at the top. And because they're tensioned, they're always tight. They're never saggy.
Yep.
On Shermans. So interesting that they've gone for individual links, but I'm sure it'll be like really good. It'll probably be like the really good option for people who want to do dioramas. Yeah, people. So one of the key things is those rolled metal springs that act like the real springs, and they're like a coil of metal.
No good.
I don't know. I mean, it's
Okay.
probably going to be pretty good. I don't know if it'll be too strong for the weight of a plastic kit, but it'll look the part, right?
Marking choices are interesting. They've got one there. Both seem to be late war, actually. One's for the Battle of the Bulge, and they're both based on the Battle of the Bulge. So, yeah, pretty interesting.
I find it kind of an interesting model, like as in like version of the Sherman to do, because it's almost.
It'd have to be the most iconic version of the Sherman.
Is it? Because I mean, like the AZ-8, I would have said is the most iconic one. That's like, you know, the classic Fury from the movie. But this is not an AZ-8. This is almost like what, like a generation before or something, like just slight before they put the bigger gun in it.
Yeah, but they're still running around in 44, 45.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
I mean, like this, like the AZ-8 has the different suspension. This is the early suspension, not the late one.
Yes.
Was
yep.
it like VVS and
Yep.
then HVSS or something like that?
Oh, I don't know. You know them better than I do.
So, yeah, the way you sort of see it is like the cast iron wheels with the spokes and stuff, and the little two like sort of arms that come out. That's the early type, and the late type looks completely different.
Cool.
But knowing Meng, they won't half-ass it. It will be a good production with good moulding.
Yep.
My question is, there's so many Shermans out there already. Like,
Is there enough space?
yeah,
Is there enough room in this town for two?
because we just said, there's already a good offering out there.
Yeah, that's right.
There's lots you can do of the current availability. So maybe they should have picked a different subject. I mean,
Well, you know what? I reckon they do the market research, because to go down this track and to do all the CAD work, to get a mould up and done
a
and
lot
run,
of work.
it's a lot of work, a lot of money, and you'd have to be a company with a death wish just to go, I think we'll build a ME-109. Unless you're bringing something different to the table that other manufacturers haven't, or you're improving upon something that is popular, like the Sherman, you'd be crazy to do it otherwise.
when Julian gets one and builds it, we'll find out.
Well, that won't be for a while. But it might be a case of like, how every company has a Mustang or a 109.
Yeah.
They've got to have that out there so they can make their money to fund their more obscure projects.
Yeah, possibly. Bit of news from AK Interactive. They've been busy. First of all, they've got a book out called Panzer Division.
Divisionen.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. It's a hardcover book, 348 pages, 59 euros, and the book is a result of extended research on the history and organisation of the armoured divisions of the Wehrmacht from its creation in 1935 until the end of World War II. So basically, it's all about the German armoured divisions, and with 348 pages, some nice colour line drawings as well. It should prove interesting for those of you who model in that era. Aces High is is a magazine that we're quite familiar with. It comes from the same company. This is 76 pages, soft cover, 9 euros, and this particular one is about French jet fighters. They're looking at all the types of jets that the France produced post-war, and it looks like, geez, I might even be tempted to buy this magazine as well. It looks quite good. I love anything to do with Mirage, especially in Israeli Air Force colours. I just reckon it looks gorgeous. It looks really hot. And there's something about the Israeli Air Force camouflage that they still do use, I guess, to a certain extent.
That's because they use relatively light colours because of that sort of
Yeah.
arid.
Yeah. Although
setting.
then they go put great big whacking yellow triangles on the Mirages so they don't get shot down by their own side. So kind of a bit counterproductive.
Well, they camouflage them so they don't fly into the pyramids.
How did camouflaging stop them flying in pyramids, Julian? Pray do tell.
it doesn't have to make sense.
Now, I know there's a lot of our listeners out here who swear by wet pallets. And
Yes,
AK,
that's me. Absolutely me. Yep, I swear by wet pallets.
And AK have now introduced a wet pallet tool, which is, they're saying, mainly used for figure painters. What is it?
It's a container. It's a container with a sponge in it.
It looks like, you know...
Go down to the local shops, buy yourself a little container that's self-sealable, buy some sponge.
And paper on top.
You want the
wax paper, don't
baking
you?
paper.
Baking
that you're
paper.
cooking with.
Yep. And you've got yourself a wet pallet and it costs you about $3.
This looks like those lunch boxes that you used to get when you were in primary school. Your mum bought you at the beginning of the year to put your packed lunch in to go to primary school.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
To me, it looks like a waste of money.
You need a wipe as well, so you use your paper towel.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Well, it depends on how much they sell for. Because remember, like all these companies, all they do is sell convenience.
Yeah. Well, that's true, but they're selling this for €10.
Well, I mean, it's bloody €10. That's
That's nearly
you'll spend more money.
Aussie.
You'll spend more money than that. Just driving around looking for a sponge.
No, you just go to Coles, like I did.
Next up from AK, we have Green Power 2-component modelling putty.
Which is basically exactly the same as the green stuff that Games Workshop makes.
Well, there you go. This costs €5.95, just under €6. Contains 2 strips of 10cm putty. One is a yellow colour, the other one is a blue.
And when you mix them together, you get
Dark green.
green.
Absolutely. So it's the epoxy putty that when it's mixed the components at room temperature allows the modeller to recreate any models to shape or any shapes that he wants to do. And once mixed, both components will result in a sticky green putty, and you have about 90 minutes to mould and detail, and it reaches a maximum hardness after about 24 hours.
But see, like green stuff, like this is basically green stuff, right?
Yeah.
So green stuff is mostly used by people who are in figures.
Yes,
right?
correct.
If you're not
Wargaming, Warhammer.
Yeah, wargaming.
40K.
Yeah. But if you're not in those, right, you wouldn't necessarily know what green stuff is.
No.
So, there's room enough for them to market it to people who build model kits.
Yep.
How does it go attaching to, say, polystyrene?
Plastic and so
Yeah,
forth.
does
Yeah,
it
not a
marry
problem.
up to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could actually use it to make your mould and then put some milliput in it
Yeah.
and get a replacement part.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
okay.
that's like piracy, isn't it?
Yep.
Not if the manufacturer won't resupply the part.
Yeah, which I'm having trouble with Dragon at the moment, getting a part out of them, so that's another story. Earth Effects Rally set, they're doing a painting set especially for Earth Effects for rally cars. A lot of paint manufacturers are doing this now, where they're putting out sets, and you know what? I don't know whether calling it Earth Effects Rally set, and then I don't know, just my thoughts. And oh goodness, and they're also doing an Asphalt Effects race set. Comes with 1, 2, 3 different paints in there, and
Dirt, city dirt, and asphalt road dirt.
Yeah, so you can put asphalt effects on your model or on your diorama that you're doing.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
No.
Well, the reason why I wouldn't necessarily buy it is because people who make cars for on the track, not off-road, but on the track, they like to keep their cars clean. Like their model cars clean, they don't want it looking shiny about to race, not so much at the end of the race.
Yep.
Interesting. I'll buy paint sets from manufacturers for subjects that I'm building. So I've done it for some aircraft I've got sitting there. So I've got the presets ready to go, and then I've always got but I don't know. I'm sort of torn about this.
I'm not a fan of sets in general. I don't like it when you can't buy them separately, which sometimes they'll do to make you buy a whole set. Because then, rather than say you're after just one color, they can sell you 3 colors, even though you only wanted just the one.
I see these 2 sets as being redundant because you can get what they're trying to sell you here by individual things already on the market.
Yeah.
Just pigments for different earths or paints,
I just
You know what? They're selling convenience. That's what they're selling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But I'd much rather them sell them separately so that I can buy them separately. I don't have a problem with them making the product. I just want to get just the ones I want.
Because out of those three, one is going to get smashed and used non-stop, and the other two are going to.
Oh yeah, it's like printer cartridges. You know, you always end up using the black, and then you end up with like so much yellow left over.
All right. From our friends in Hasegawa, they've got some interesting kits for the month of June. First of all, they're starting off with an
Oscar.
Looks like a Nakajima KI-43.
It's an Oscar.
Army Type 1 in 148 scale. Total length of the model is 184 millimeters, and the width is 238 millimeters.
What the hell they got written on it? Vice President who likes alcohol, kit the aircraft that Zara boarded.
No idea.
Basically, this is like a sort of aircraft version of not World of Tanks. I mean, Girls on Panzer.
It has to be. I mean, if you look at the decals that it comes with it and the markings on it, it's certainly not World War II related.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about this, so
It's their classic, kit of a Japanese aircraft from World War II, and then they've packaged it with a figure and.
Well, does anyone know what a Kotobuki squadron is?
No.
No, it's just all made up stuff for like a TV series.
Right.
Next we have
Right.
Next we have Mecratro Chunk number 1, which is 2 robots in 1/35th scale. These robots look strikingly similar to Huey, Dewey, and Louie from the Silent Running, which has to be one of my most favourite science fiction movies ever. They look similar, not the same.
They look like alarm clocks.
Good point.
I mean, if you like your Mecha or your Mectro, whatever they're called, I'm sure you get a lot of enjoyment for this. But you know what? There's a lot of areas here where you could really sort of polish that up and have make a really interesting science fiction kit. Certainly change the eyes. The kits looks like they're fully sort of movable, so the legs and arms are posable.
Hands are fully articulated too.
So it should be quite an interesting little kit for those of you who enjoy building your robots and your mecha stuff. In 1/72nd scale, we have a Crusher Joe Fighter 1.
Another fictional aircraft from some anime TV series.
Well, there you go.
Pretty cool looking beast, though.
It does. I think it might be vertical takeoff and landing as well. Comes with a figure. The cockpit is interesting. I wonder if it's pre-painted or whether... No, there we go. In typical sort of style Japanese. The model comes in a range of different multicolours on the sprue.
Including an optional pink canopy.
Yeah. It's a Gundam kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to a Gundam kit.
Well, you know what the beauty about this is? Because I said I built one for my granddaughter a couple of weeks ago and she loved it. And it's the entry-level stuff to get the young kids in. And I think it's just great that, these sort of things are around to sort of attract people of the younger age into modelling. So I think it's brilliant.
I wish that the colours were not quite spot on, because they do a pretty good job of matching it to how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I wish it was just a little bit off to encourage them to paint them a bit more. So it's kind of close, but not close enough for some people,
Next is a construction set B, construction worker set B. Now, I'm pretty sure we previewed this late last year.
Yeah, that would have been the set
It was
A.
coming out, yeah. Oh, I reckon the set B is exactly the same because I remember the vending machine. So it's 3 construction workers. You have a female with a clipboard, a guy sitting down eating lunch, and another with a standing up. High vis, and there's a vending machine.
And he's got a whacking stick.
It's not a whacking stick.
Not a whacking stick.
It's one of those eliminated baton type things that,
They don't work hard enough, you give them a whack.
I'm pretty sure that's what pointing them where they have to go.
Oh, Ian.
Directing traffic.
Ian. The next one, I'm struggling how we keep a straight face. These in 1/24 scale, there are 2 female figures. They're the 90s racing queen, i.e. paddock girl figures.
They're race queens.
Yeah.
They're the two ladies in bikinis that stand around like the race cars on the grid.
I know,
grid girls.
But riddle me this: why they've put the item size, but they've also put the item weight in there as well, listing it as 100 grams in weight? Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's very bizarre. So skimpily clad bikini, one-piece bathing suit wearing girls who you normally see on.
Is it plastic or resin? Because those are pretty good looking moldings when you think about it.
They're Pepsi girls.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's a subtly a Pepsi thing where they've given it a different name, so they don't have to
It's Pepsi
pay
Grid
royalties.
Girls. Yep.
you guys finished looking? We'll move on to the next one. Last but not least, the Calsonic Nissan R9 1CP in 1/24 scale. This is the Nissan that was used in the Monza race, I believe.
Is this the car that's in the background for the two girls that we just previously?
I think
reviewed?
it was.
Yes, it is.
1/24 scale. There you go.
It's a set.
And again, they put the weight of the kit in there. How bizarre! Why would you do that?
Postage.
I've never. Well, yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's for people who have weak shelves.
Yeah. It's Japan. They've got lots of earthquakes.
Thank you, Hashigawa. Let's now have a
Cardboard
quick look
furniture.
at the new announcement from Mini Art, which is Ukrainian BMR1/KMT-9 in 1/35 scale. So basically, it is a mine clearing tank that was used in the Ukrainian armed forces right through to the end of the Soviet era.
Yep. So it's like a T-72 or something like that without the turret.
I don't know about T-72. Look at those funny wheel configurations there. So you've got your main aisle at the front, then you got 3 road wheels, and there's a significant gap to the next 2 road wheels before you got your drive sprocket.
Yeah, they
at the
do
rear.
that. It's just one of the
72.
I'm not
T-72
necessarily sure of the T-72 because like all of that era's Russian tanks look the same to me.
So it's based on a T model or something.
Yeah. It's definitely like and they've just removed the turret. They've made a casemate or whatever you want to call it, like superstructure, little machine gun in top, and then it doesn't have any like main armament really.
Only 4 of the variants were actually used, I think. And it's saying that they're still being used in Ukraine today. So there you go.
I think this might actually be a reboxing because I think they might have already released this with sort of traditional Russian green camouflage or something like that.
Yeah, possible. Oh, there we go. Late modification derived from the hull of the Su-122 tank destroyer. I thought the wheel arrangements looked a bit strange. So the recovery vehicle was designed, was teamed up with KMT-7 mine roller clearance vehicle and used by many countries from the Soviet bloc in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
It's a cool thing.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Anybody else got anything new?
No, I'm too busy building.
You don't have to, yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
No, nothing from me.
Nothing for you, Mike?
Building.
Well, there you go. Let's have a quick break and we'll come back and have a chat about old model kits, second-hand kits, and whether you like them, you love them, and perhaps how you can make them shine and stand out against the current-day modern kits. Back shortly. Okay, and welcome back to our next part of the show. We're going to be talking about old kits and second-hand kits.
Yep.
What do you guys think? What are your views? What are your thoughts?
Well, I've got a lot of old kits and a lot of second-hand kits. So, yeah, sometimes it's the only things you can get your hands on.
Sometimes it's the only option to get your subject matter.
Correct.
Yep. That's my situation with the Helldiver. There's no other Helldiver kit out there.
No, that's right.
And it's a pretty hard kit to get hold of as well because it wasn't that popular at the time.
Well, Helldiver wasn't ever a popular aircraft to begin with.
We had some interesting comments when I posted this the other day on Facebook and let everybody know that we're going to be doing this segment. And Andrew Critchley wrote in and he said, I can't wait. Just about all my stash is old and second-hand kits. Results may vary, laughing, but I have a low expectation, so I enjoy the journey either way. Wayne Peters wrote in and said, the vast majority of kits I've picked up in the last 3 to 4 years have come from op shops. Some are newish, some older, and in varying condition, state of completeness. Stuart Bremer writes, good subject, enjoy doing some of the old kits as they are mostly ball-in-the-bag model kits like you get nowadays. I tend to enjoy my model more at the end if I've had to work at it to make it look nice. And, you know, you certainly have to work at them if you're going to sort of try and get them to a decent standard.
Well,
But
to today's standards, yeah.
well, yeah, but the first thing I want to do, though, is I want to clear the air because this is a bit of a interesting sort of discussion I was involved in recently where a guy got his hands on a fairly rare kit. It was an old kit. And he was going to build it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, geez, I don't know whether I'd want to do that because it's a rare kit. I'd be wanting to keep it in the box and leaving it in the box as such.
What's the point of having it then?
Well,
That's like having a
I
sports car
know.
and not driving it.
I know.
exactly.
And
I
keeping
know.
it good for the next person.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I get all that. But, you know, geez, I'd be too scared to muck it up
Well,
because it's so
Oh.
rare and you know what I mean?
yeah, but when you shuffle off this mortal coil, someone else will get it, and they won't treat it with anywhere near the same respect that you did.
Well, it depends how much
So you
they
may as
bought
well
it
build-
from the estate for.
So you may as well build it because
Right.
you won't be around to see anyone else appreciate it except
So you guys
yourself.
got no qualms about building old
No.
rare kits at all?
Nah.
Not at all.
You also
I do.
You do.
I do.
You wouldn't build one.
Well, for me, firstly, I think it's about expectation.
Yeah.
You as a modeler, what are you going to get out of the kit? What do you want? If you want a challenge of an old kit that's known for not going together, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
However, if you buy an old kit that was known to be a decent kit that went together, that's what you should get. A kit that'll go together. And then you look at what you want to do with it or to it.
Yeah.
So for me, I won't go for a second-hand kit, even if it's dirt cheap. But if I use our wonderful tool called the internet these days to research the kits, and it says it's a terrible kit, I'm gonna go away from it because I don't want the frustration.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy just putting a kit together and doing my best on it, but I don't want to try and fix bad engineering from the company when they first released it.
Yeah, but he's going at it from the collector's perspective.
Yeah, I am. And I guess I'm sort of branching into the other side of our hobby, which
Yeah,
is collecting as
collecting.
against building. And
Like if you want to collect, that's fine. Will you really adopt the collector mindset? Because there's two types of collectors, right? There's the kind that keep stuff, hoard,
yeah.
these things that they want to hoard, and then there's the people who buy and sell, right?
Or buy and keep it because it's worth, and they use that worth as collateral to do something else with it. But they have no intention of losing the kit or losing that collateral.
See, I'd never collect a kit just to leave it in my stash, knowing that I'd never build it and purposely bought it just to put it in the stash. I buy my kits to eventually build them one day.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Same.
Even though I open my cupboards now and I look at that vast collection and go, I don't have enough lifetimes left in me to get all this
How
done.
many? How many?
Oh, I'd say close to 300.
Oh, I'm a novice.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even have a fraction of that on purpose, though.
Let's just say I have to keep an Excel spreadsheet now so I know what I've got.
I used to think that my the old grey matter upstairs was good enough to keep track of things, but that's caught me out a couple of times in the
Yes.
past. So.
Yes. Even with an Excel spreadsheet, I've been caught out of it.
Yeah, I bet.
So you come home to put it in the... Oh, I've already got one of those.
Yes, yep.
That's because you don't take your spreadsheet around with you.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yes, I
You've got a
should do.
smartphone, what are you doing?
Yeah, smartphone. I'm not smart enough to use a smartphone, mate.
So when it comes to my modelling, I always want to build the best kit. And usually that means I buy the most recently made kit of that subject, right?
Yeah, I'm very similar to you, yeah.
Right? But there are cases where the older kit is the better kit. It doesn't always happen, but like for example, dragon kits.
Yeah.
one of the big complaints about Dragon is that their new releases of boxings that have had around for a long time, of kits they've had around for a long time, sorry, is that their newer boxings don't come with all the cool goodies in them that the older ones did. So you're better off, if you're in the market for, say...
We're talking like aircraft or armour.
Yeah, Dragon's armour kits, yeah.
Yep.
So, for example...
Because their aircraft kits
They
were
do
mainly...
aircraft and
Because
naval.
they're
Aircraft as well?
And naval.
And naval.
And naval.
Well,
Yeah.
all Dragon's early stuff was basically just redone TriMaster.
I'm not talking like that old.
Because I've got a ton. I think there's only...
How far back do you want to go?
Oh,
old
that's
do
the
you think we
80s.
are?
I think it was the 80s because I've got a very vast TriMaster collection at home, and I think I'm only missing 2 kits out of the whole selection of TriMaster kits.
You're talking like a collector there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And there's some marvellous... Those TriMaster kits were freaking insane. They were really nice, like metal barrels and occasional white metal figures, and just really nice kits.
Yeah, but I've seen some of those boxings of yours, and they're almost as diabolical as the stuff from Bronco. You know,
Yes.
1 billion parts. You know, there's nothing. You open up the box and nothing's bigger than a 20-cent coin. You know.
Yeah, you don't want to take it out of the box because you'll never get it back in again.
Oh.
But I'm very much like you, Julian, because I prefer buying the modern sort of production stuff because it goes together so well.
Yeah.
But the one caveat to that is if there's a specific model of a subject and I can only get it in an older kit,
Yeah.
I will reach back in
Yeah.
and purchase that kit to build that. And a classic example, I think it's Lindbergh. They did a lifeboat, and nobody else has ever done this particular lifeboat since. And I purchased a kit, and oh my god, it's horrid.
It can't be
shocking.
Why is it horrid?
It can't
Why?
be.
Well, because the styrene is just really sort of stiff styrene, and there's so much flashing on it, and
Can't be any but worse than their big scale Japanese submarine they made.
Just sit it out in the sun for a couple of days.
Shocker! Like the hatches would have been the size of football fields. Plus, they did that really horrible Velociraptor kit. I remember that when I was a kid,
oh gee,
and it was a shocker.
Well, when you say a lifeboat, I imagine something really simple like one of those life preserver rings or something like that. I'm like, how can you?
well, actually,
stuff up
it's
something
not
so
far
simple?
off. It's about a in real life, it's about a 12 foot. No, it wasn't 12 foot. It was about a 16 footer, and it was very advanced for its time. It's self-righting, so if it went over, it would self-right. And great little kit used by the RNLI and also by the US Coast Guard quite effectively.
Well, anyway, with the Dragon kits,
Yep.
people are complaining about their more recent boxings because they've taken the old magic tracks, the individual link tracks out of them, and putting in rubber ones that people hate.
I hate rubber.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're going back a step.
Yep. Absolutely.
Wow.
They're
Why would
going
they be
cost
doing that?
effective. That's what they're doing.
And all the little other things like metal barrels and things
Yeah.
they used to give. None of that. You got
I
plastic
remember
barrels.
I got a couple of those Hanamags from Dragon. I got not a couple. I got about 14 Hanamags from Dragon, and some of them actually the photo etch gun shields are already pre-bent.
Yep. Yeah, they have a few things like that.
And
Yeah.
they're fantastic. You
Wow,
just glue it together.
wow.
Yeah. So I built an older boxing of the Marder 3,
Yep.
and that has pre-bent photo etch, because it's like a compound curve kind of thing. It's really, really complicated, and you would never get that on your own to look like that. And it's really amazing. But more recent boxings are a bit different. It's missing some of the cooler things. This was at a time where they were like all about detail. So they gave you like photo etch latches for the tools and things like that.
Yes.
The newer versions don't have it.
Wow.
So
Gone
they've
the
gone
cheap option.
Yep. So they've gone back a step.
So
But
when
also-
we're talking about older kits, though, I mean, we need to. Should we put a fence around this? I mean, because let's have a quick look at the history of plastic model kits. So the first plastic kits were manufactured at the end of 1936 by Frog in the UK, with a range of 1/72 scale models called Penguin. In the late 40s, several American companies such as Hawk, Varney, Empire, Renwal and Lindbergh began to produce models. And many manufacturers began production in the 50s and gained ascendancy in the 60s, such as Aurora, Revell, AMT, Monogram in the US, Airfix in the UK, Hella in France. So even, Matchbox in the UK, that was 70s and
80s.
touching the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Italeri, Esky, which came from, they were both Italian.
With
Novo, which is
horrible
X-Frog
decals.
molds. So, I mean, how far back? I mean, you could even say, quite rightly, that a kit that was produced in the year 2000 is an old kit now, isn't it?
Well, an older kit.
Because things move so fast
Yeah,
nowadays.
exactly. Well, an older kit have to be a kit that has been superseded by someone else, right?
So is that the fence you're putting around it?
That's how I would take it. There's one subject, there's two kits, one's older than the other, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that would be. I'd agree with that.
You're happy with that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd only add on to it that older kits can also just be no longer in current production. So you have to go to the second-hand market or the traders or the buy swap sales.
Or Evil Bay.
Yeah.
Deceased estates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that's not current production, whereby a retailer can ring up the wholesaler and say, hey, get us that kit, to me is an older kit. Because it's no longer readily available. You have to hunt for it. Or, like Julian said, it's been superseded so that new moulding or new tooling or new parts are included in the current offering that weren't in the original.
This is where it's Scalemates is your best friend.
Oh, absolutely. And
because you can see the entire
Scalemates.com,
timeline.
Yeah. So you go to scalemates.com and you just type in the particular kit you're looking for. And like you said, Julian, it will show you the entire timeline.
It'll also tell you new parts added with the later boxings.
Because that's where the opportunity is, where you might get the older kit where it doesn't have all the new parts. However, some aftermarket companies can provide you either upgrade sets or better detailing, and you'll get the same model, but for half the price.
I guess the attraction is, there's a couple of attractions there. There's the cost. So these older kits potentially can be cheaper.
Potentially. If you know what you're looking, you've got to know your market. That's what it comes down to. You've got to know your market and what you want.
Or potentially they can be quite expensive because
You got to throw aftermarket at them.
not only that, but the person who's selling on eBay sees it was an old kit and then therefore thinks, it's worth more, therefore I'll sell it for a higher price.
Like the 148 Falkland Sea King half 5. Well, if you go for a current USN Sea King in 148, you can buy them for about $40 to $60.
Yeah.
You try and get a half 5, which is just the British Falklands version, you're looking at about $300.
Wow. Seriously?
Yep.
That is crazy money.
Is it because of the decal options, or is it the actual physical
Rarity.
kit?
Rarity, and the British and Australian ones have 6-tail rotors, whereas the USN has 5. So people wanted to do a certain version, have to go that, and the market is flooded with the USN ones, and there's hardly any of the British out
Half
there.
5s.
Half 5s, yeah.
Wow.
That's an extreme case, isn't it?
Well, that's the example where you have to know the market. You have to know what someone... I mean, it's like anything. How much do you want to pay for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasegawa are a bit tricky with their boxings because often the older boxings have decal sets that you really want and you can't get anywhere else.
Yep.
And then you have to run the risk of them never working. Their decals.
So would you buy a kit just for the decals to use in a more modern kit?
If there's no other option, what else can you do?
I don't know. I'm asking if you do it.
Scan them and have someone redraw them and print them for you.
Yeah, but then you're touching those copyright infringement stuff.
If someone has it, yeah. I mean, like the Pete that I did, when it was first released, they came in 2 different boxings.
Yep.
You had an early and a late. 2 completely different schemes, and there's a few different parts. The one that they sell now has all the parts. But you don't get as many decal options available, which is why I had to go off-road, and now mine's finished and I just need to spray the tail codes on it.
It's extremely rare for me to use a kit's decals.
Yeah, because a lot of your kits are Japanese, right? So a lot of them will have the Japanese style decals that are super thick.
To me, huh?
Oh, hate to me decals. Don't get me started on to me decals.
Well, Hasegawa decals are the same, aren't
Oh,
they?
Hasegawa decals are pathetic. But no, because I've got a couple of big folders full of decal sheets, and I'll buy kits to go with me decal sheets.
Yeah. That makes sense.
If I can, I'll paint on my decorations rather than use.
I try to, but
decals.
there's some circumstances you've got to use the decal. Otherwise, you can get away with painting it. Yeah, paint it.
Yeah, navigating the decal minefield is kind of par for the course when you're dealing with older kits, isn't it?
Especially if you're dealing with like older decal sheets.
Ugh.
Like some of the earlier Aeromaster stuff was, renowned for being incorrect.
When you pick it up and it disintegrates in your hand, that's a sign. It's an old kit.
I had a decal sheet. I think it was Caracal or something. It was a French decal manufacturer. It was for a Grumman Panther for USS Yorktown. And as soon as these things got a sniff of moisture, they just shattered. And it's like $30 decal sheet, and I couldn't even use it.
Oh, no.
Well, and you've already got a finished kit by
Pretty
that
much
point.
finished, yeah.
That's the worst part.
Exactly.
It hits you right when you're in late in the game.
Well, that's the only thing that scares me when I buy an old kit. Are the decal sheets going to work? That's the thing for me, because I can bend, I can glue plastic, I can get styrene and make bits that are missing, but getting those decals sometimes is really hard work.
I think that's why the mask cutting machines and stuff are starting to take off a bit.
Yeah.
Or at least the Montex masks. That
Montex
you can buy.
marks are great, or the stuff like
There are a few other brands as well, not just Montex.
Troy uses as well.
Yeah.
He's got his stencil cutter machine.
Exactly.
So
when you got a stencil cutter, you don't
he
need to
can
rely
do
on
whatever
anyone.
he wants. Yeah, just about. And I'm just recalling. Do you remember back? I think it was a couple of model shows ago, where somebody brought a big shipment in from South Africa, and it was all the old Matchbox kits. Do you remember that?
No.
They had a big table and it was full of Matchbox kits.
I think you were talking about when Ian brought in a whole bunch of them, wasn't it?
No. It was about 3 years ago. I'm sure it wasn't. These guys just rolled up a cellar out of nowhere. Haven't ever seen them at the show before, and there's a whole heap of old.
And then never
I think
been
it's
back.
the same.
They've never been back. Yes,
The same guy. I think one year he had nothing but books. Because
Dunno.
he was South African. Because I remember I bought a twin book on Comfort Group 300 or 500. Very rare jewel book for $50. And yeah.
because I asked him where he got all these old Matchbox kits from, because I've never seen so many Matchbox kits together since back in the day in the 80s and 70s when they were in a toy shop. And he said, I bought them all from South Africa. Bought a big shipment. They've been sitting in some warehouse somewhere and just snapped them up.
Yep.
Which I guess goes to the other part where we can sort of source our older style kits, and that'd be through deceased estates. You mentioned that before, Ian. That's a good one. Online through Evil Bay is another way of going. There's another company called that you deal with, Michael. What are they called?
I've dealt with sprue finders.
Sprue Finders, yeah.
They're locally here. They're good.
And there are some companies, some individuals that specialise in deceased estates, or they'll deal in rare model kits.
Yeah, I think there's a company in America called the Rare Kit Detective.
That's it. Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. And he's got some good contacts where he goes and tracks down the really rare stuff. But I guess again, so there comes, if you're buying something really rare, I struggle to build it.
Well, I bought I didn't actually. I got it with one of those big deceased estate boxes. I got handed a few of those last year, and there was a kit in there that was an old 1/600 scale Airfix British destroyer, and I snapped that up and I was like, "That's nostalgia. That was the first kit I ever built."
Yeah, well, there you go.
So I will build it.
Buy, swap, sell.
Yeah, buy, swap, sells another
I've had
place.
some really good bargains.
Surprising ones, yeah.
Buy, swap, sell. I got a Chinook 148 full resin detail set.
Yep.
With it.
That's the real luck. Pot luck is the expression. Yeah, when you buy a
20
kit and the person
$20.
who's selling it hasn't realised that they put all this aftermarket
No
in the box.
market. I opened it up and looked at it right there in front of the seller and said, how much? He said $20. He had no concern at all. He just wanted to get rid of it.
Wow.
Well, it's like last year. I know of a fella who bought a Wingnut Wings Gotha.
Yep.
Swap and sell. $40.
Yeah, they're $140 in the shops.
Wow.
Or more.
They can't even get them anymore.
Wow.
But $40 he paid for that thing.
Gee, that's just amazing. That
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing.
Deceased estate, the lady who was selling it had no idea the value of it.
Yeah.
Well, as I just showed you guys out in the other room, I have a 1350 Ticonderoga CV-14 aircraft carrier for the grand sum of $60. Now, to buy the kit on its own, now, if you source it through Evil Bay or a shop, you're looking at over $150. And now I've also managed to get a full photo etch set to enhance it for $50.
I'm so jealous you got that for $50.
We'll go online and I'll show you where it is.
Yeah, I know.
But, that is a kit with nothing wrong with it that is still currently available in some retail shops, but mostly in the aftermarket and after Evil Bay areas. And I got it for around $100, so pretty happy with that.
I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah.
That's a bargain.
So that was an interesting subject to me, and that's why I grabbed it as soon as I saw the price tag on it. I'm like, I know what I have to pay to get that ship. That's a bargain. And I think that's what people have to know, how much they could pay, whereas what they can see.
Well, I got it through Sprue Finders. I've got the USS San Francisco
Same.
with the Tom's Model Works photo etch set.
Are you going to say same?
Oh,
you got the better one.
Oh, yeah, he did.
All up $60.
Wow. That is awesome. That's a big kit too.
Hey,
That's not a small kit.
Okay, now here's a question I'm going to throw on the table. So you guys have all said, yep, quite happy to build an old rare kit.
yep.
Here's the question. Are you going to put aftermarket stuff on that old kit to bring it up to the standard that you see in model displays
Well,
now?
to me, it depends. If you're going to build it for pure nostalgia, no.
Okay.
But if you've got a subject that you need to use an old kit because there's nothing else available,
Yep.
of course,
Yep.
go to town on it. Make it more modern.
So 176 Airfix Churchill.
Why? Why?
Not in my scale.
No. It shouldn't be anyone's
I
scale.
just pulled that one out of my bum just as an example.
No, for me, if you get the kit for a cheap enough price, being an older kit or a second-hand kit,
Yep.
that should allow you funds to put some enhancements on it to bring it up. Because you're not paying the full price of a current release kit. And that's where it is for me, is that if I can get the better product out, or I can then afford to get the photo etch or get the resin because the kit only cost blah, whereas if I walk into the shop and go, I'd be paying twice what I did, that's when I go to town.
With regards to old kits, there is also one other sort of area in that there might be a newer kit, it might be more accurate, but if there's an alternative that's a Tamiya kit, you'll still consider it because it's going to go together like a dream.
Yep.
Wouldn't consider it. I'd just buy it.
And you'll be able to get it. You're not going to be hunting around for it because
Yeah.
they still sell almost their entire lineup.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
See, I have a 1350 Enterprise sitting at home waiting to get built. When you look at it, you can see the kit is old. It is, even though this is the exception, I think, it's still a readily available and retail kit. But you look at it, pull it out of the box, it is old.
Yeah.
The technology they used is 20 years old.
Yeah, I've got the same with a Tamiya gearing class, I think, destroyer. You pull it out and it's just...
Oh, I got the
It's-
Tirpitz and the King George.
Oh,
V.
yeah. And you compare it to, say, some of the, the one I've just built, and it's like, it looks like they're built by two different companies.
Yep.
That's how the difference is stark.
The phalanx systems on the ship.
Yeah.
When you look at the Enterprise ones, and then you go get something from Veterans Model,
Oh,
there's
big
no
difference.
comparison.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. I've gone and bought all these little bits. Your missile launchers, your Seawiz or Phalanx, all these little enhancements so that the detail remains constant. Whereas you'd have these lovely detailed flight deck and the ship's hull, and then you'd have the island. It all looks great, and then you've got these lumps
Yep.
of armament. You look at it and go, "Where's the detail gone?" That's what makes the difference for me, and that kit's going to get a little bit of extra help.
Ooh, I just thought of another one. Accuracy. Sometimes the newer kits are less accurate than the older ones, especially on aircraft where you got really specific shapes that are difficult to define, things you can't really measure. I know I've heard that Eduard's Hellcat, the real Hellcat nutcases, don't quite think the smile on it is accurate enough.
That doesn't matter what company do, they will always bitch about the smile.
Yeah.
Well,
Doesn't matter who makes the kit, they will bitch about the smile. Me, I reckon it's a beautiful looking kit.
I'd buy it.
It builds up as a dream.
Yeah. If I was going to build a Hellcat, I'd go for the Eduard kit.
Oh, it's a
Hands
stunning
down.
kit.
I wouldn't even
I've
consider
built
anyone
one,
else.
I've still got two.
Yeah. But sometimes, you know what I mean? There are sometimes, also Eduard also brought out their 109G, and when they first brought it out, it was the wrong size.
Yeah, the
Is
wings
that the
were
weekend kit?
The wings were too large.
Yeah, something like that.
I think the wings were...
They corrected it.
Yeah, the wings were at 143 scale or something. Where the rest of the kit was at 148.
well, another example would be the Hasegawa Skyhawks, the older ones.
Oh, really?
Yep, with the slats.
I've been looking at getting one of those recently.
Yeah, be careful which one you get. And also, if you have a look at some of the forums, the F-14 is currently available, or the new ones from Tamiya, just different placements of pods and vents and intakes and gun pods. Just different little bits.
I don't think there's been a proper F-14 kit built or company built a proper one yet, proper model of an F-14 yet.
But yeah, if you go back to maybe like your Hobby Boss ones that were produced quite some time ago, there's parts from that are more accurate than the Tamiya. But then the Tamiya's got more accurate pieces than the Hobby Boss.
Yeah,
so,
I know that feeling.
it's like, which one do you pick? But one of the things I've heard about the Tamiya offerings, they go together like a dream.
Yeah.
But what details, I think that's what it comes down
It's
to. What
trade-offs.
details do you want in your kit?
Yeah. Sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh, optimally, I'd love to have both kits and sort of mush them together. But no one's got that kind of money, really.
I've got two sitting there and I've been really contemplating it.
See, I have a sore spot. My favourite tank, my above all favourite tank, is the Hellcat from World War II. 20 millimeters of armor, super fast. It drives at 80 kilometers an hour. Right, which is fast. It's on par with an Abrams now. Right? There's no good kit of that. There's this old Italieri one, and then there's the AFV Club one, which is diabolical. The AFV Club one doesn't have the canvas shroud that goes around the mantlet and gun, and that's a real key thing to its look. So the fact that it doesn't have it is weird.
Yep.
But you look at the Italieri one, it's it's so simple. It's basically supposed to be a, motorized toy.
Right.
So it's...
Well,
Tamiya, if you're listening, you better get on it.
or Meng.
I don't care who does it. Someone has to do it.
The passion is real.
You got no idea how annoyed I am at this. Because the other one's so wrong. Because there's certain shapes, there's curvatures around the rear end that are...
Mate, I know exactly where you're coming from. For years, I've been hanging and I don't ever see it happening. But a 148 scale DAP Beaufort.
Beaufort?
Yep, Australian built Beaufort.
Okay. You can't modify the recent...
Totally different aircraft.
Okay.
Totally different aircraft. These were made locally in Moorabbin.
Okay.
No. Fisherman's Bend.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Fisherman's Bend, yeah.
Yep.
Ah. But trying to find... I did have I think I've got it somewhere, an old vac form.
Yeah.
Beaufort.
That's a different episode, isn't it? Vac form.
It is. Oh, my goodness.
I think that's just cupboard filler.
Oh, vac forming. Oh, my
You
God.
may as well make one out of paper mache, right?
Because you know what's going to happen? One day I'll bite the bullet and I'll hook into it. And that's when one of the major manufacturers will just bring one out.
Yep. I I feel a little bad about it, but whenever I think of you and that Heinkel 219 that you've got that's made out of resin, I laugh, right? I can't help but laugh because I've got the Tamiya plastic version, and
that thing cost me nearly. That was what, the 80s when I bought that, and that was nearly $200. And it's 219 Heinkel Night Fighter.
Yep.
Two beautiful, like fully detailed engines, fully like beautiful interior, vac form cowls and all sorts of stuff. It would have been within 2 weeks of me purchasing it that Tamiya releases it in plastic.
Practice. That's what it is, practice.
But what gets me is that you're sticking to it, and you won't throw it out.
No, I won't throw it out. It cost me $200.
Yeah, that's $200 back in the day.
Yeah,
that's
back in the
gone.
day, that would have been about $1,000 in today's money.
Come on, you can't. I'm determined to get you to throw that out someday.
No.
What if I bought you the Tamiya kit as like a present or something next time it's your birthday?
Then I'd
It's your birthday next week, isn't it?
I'd probably use bits off it then.
No. Oh, no.
Come on, those Yumo bloody 605s are beautifully made.
I'll give you one of my resin ones.
So
They are resin.
Yeah, but this one's for the whole for the kit, you know.
Yeah, this is for the kit.
Oh, you mean for the Tamiya kit? Or?
No,
Okay.
came with the kit.
Well, this one
came with engines, everything.
Oh.
Dave, you got no second-hand kits.
Second-hand kits.
Well, you did buy them first.
All my kits have been. I'm the original purchaser. Oh, I tell a lie. There was a kit that I
You
did
liar.
buy the other week off a mate at Model Club.
Hang on, so it's not for you?
Oh no, it's for me.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I haven't got any apart from that one. See, it's unless somebody's selling something off that interests them. Oh, actually, I do have a couple. I think of it up in my stash. I do have a couple of ships that are secondhand that I bought.
It's not a big deal. I mean,
No.
there's so many subjects out there that you don't necessarily have to
But what intrigues
go into the secondhand market.
Yeah, but what intrigues me is the people who will actively seek out secondhand kits, and it'll come without the box. It'll come with the box,
Oh,
but the box
the bargain hunters.
Yeah, the bargain hunters or those who are really looking for a challenge. It'll come without the instructions. It'll come with maybe one of the sprues missing. It'll
Started.
come partially built. Yes, spot on. Partially built and poorly put together with super glue and some horrid paint scheme on it.
See, you mentioned like with sprues missing. If I got a brand new kit and the sprues missing, I'm pretty pissed off about that.
Oh, look,
but
you're preaching to me, brother. Listen,
I'll-
I've got a Dragon kit sitting out there that I'm still waiting to hear from Dragon about the...
Yeah, well, I'll hunt that down. But if I just got some secondhand kit for cheap
Yep.
and it had a sprue missing, I'll just throw that in the bin.
Oh,
Well,
you
but
keep
what
it for
about
parts?
Yeah, what about using the second-hand market to replace that missing sprue?
Yeah, good luck with that. Depends on what the kit is, but good luck with that.
Yeah, there's a mob. There's a mob in America that deals out of America. They're on eBay, and for car modelers, what they do is they buy a car model and they'll sell off each individual sprue.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of craziness is this?
It's craziness as works because I bought a sprue off this guy once before.
That's when the ting happens.
Yes.
And you're like, where did the part go?
Where did me wheels for me Superbird go?
Oh, I see.
So
okay.
this guy was selling the wheel sprue,
Yeah.
the chrome sprue with the wheels.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I got me wheels again.
See, I have the 144 Space Shuttle Tower launch, the loader, and it's missing a sprue.
In what scale?
144. It's a big kit.
Yeah, I
from Revell.
know.
Freaking huge.
And it's missing one sprue.
Which sprue is it missing?
Construction of the tower.
So part of the tower's missing.
A whole side of the tower is missing when you try and build it.
You
Now,
can't scratch build it.
well, this is one of the other facets of this conversation. That was a Revell USA production.
Yeah.
So
Good luck with that now.
then companies are no longer
Yeah.
viable, or they're in a transitioning period. Love that. We're in a transitioning period. So what am I going to do?
Purgatory.
Scratch build, or go look for one of those kits where someone else has gone, damn, I don't have that sprue.
Can you? Is the tower sprue that you got a mirror image of the part that's missing?
Yeah.
Well, then
I'm going to scratch build because it's not available.
Well, then scratch build. I think if the company's got out of business and you bought it and the part was missing, I'm thinking, I'll just do a.
Yeah, good luck getting a replacement. Yeah.
I'll do a resin sort of pour, and there you go. Bob's your uncle.
Well, time might be on your side. Just wait it out. You got plenty of other things to build.
The last time they released that kit for sale was 20 years ago.
Time's not on your side.
Wait till the 50th anniversary of the space shuttle.
I'm going to use some evergreen and build it out. But, that was the other facet, You bought a kit.
Yeah.
You bought it retail, currently released. Sprue's missing. You contact company. They're like, nah, we're not even going to resupply. And I was like, hey, what is the not resupply part? Because it says when you read your instructions, contact us if you have a missing part. So I did that. And we didn't know at the time that Revell USA was in such deep trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously it all happened and it's like, oh, that's why they're not going to resupply me a part because they're not going to be around. So
I thought you were going to tell me a story where you go to ring them up or something and you get a nail salon or something instead. And we relocated. Oh no, they've gone. They're long gone.
No.
I think they're in the Bahamas somewhere now. And
I don't think they're doing that.
they fled the country.
But so I've had to look at the second-hand or the older kit market to try and fix what's missing. So
I'll tell you what, I take my hat off to those guys who'll get a kit that's already built and already painted and they'll strip it back and redo it. I reckon.
Yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah, I don't have the patience.
Nah.
I know someone like that.
It takes a special breed to do that.
I know. Yeah.
Do you? Who do you know?
Paul.
Paul 7.
Yeah.
He's G'day, Paul. I know you're listening.
I think he's been on the podcast once.
No, he's too shy to come.
We got him we had a quick chat with him at
We
Expo.
did have a quick chat over at Expo. That's
we'll have to get him on again at Expo.
Yeah, we'll have
He's built a beautiful Japanese flying boat.
Shinwa, whatever it is.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah. And that was after the decals crapped out on him.
Yes, that's right. Yes, another one of those cases where the decals are that old they just shatter.
Disintegrated.
Yeah. So Paul builds a lot of partially built kits. From,
I didn't know that.
From people who have died.
Right.
As like a tribute to them almost.
Oh, that's a good way of doing it, isn't
respect.
Mm. He also gets a lot of kits from me that I have partially built and I've hated enough. I'm like, no, I can't stand it anymore. And rather than throwing it in the bin, I just throw it over to him.
Does he get a credit when you take it to Expo?
No, I don't care. I don't care. It's his now. Once it's left my hand, it's not mine anymore.
I couldn't do that. I just wouldn't have the patience of retracing the work and then working out where my starting point
was. Well, not just that, stripping all the paint off in some cases,
yeah.
disassembling the degluing it.
No. Well, for example, I gave him my Dauntless.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
But what we're talking about is old model kits that people sort of rebuild.
Actually, this is a really good topic for this subject. So what happened is I had this new boxing of the Accurate Miniatures Dauntless, right? And it had a lot of flash and to the point where I had trouble determining what was part of the kit and what was just flash.
Jeez.
Sounds like Kitty Hawk.
Yeah. So
which is I've got exactly the same kit. Perfect.
Oh, there you go.
So what happened is I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't want this anymore. Hey, Paul, you want this? And he's like, oh, yeah, you sure? You don't want something for it? I said, no. But he already had the original boxing, the Accurate Miniatures boxing of the kit.
Yeah.
So I kept the decals that I wanted because I hadn't painted this thing yet.
Yeah.
I kept the decals that I wanted. He wanted the New Zealand Air Force decals that came with the kit. So he got the decals he wanted. I got the decals that I wanted. And then he gave me his older boxing that hadn't been started, which has all the detail in the way it's supposed to be without any flash whatsoever. So I got a better version of the kit that I already had, and I still kept the good decals because the newer boxing was Atelieri, so it's got cartograph printed decals.
Yep.
Nice. And he got cartograph printed decals of the scheme that he wanted. So everybody won.
Everyone won, yeah.
Everyone won.
Oh, see, that's a community win for modelling right there.
Hey, I've got another modelling conundrum to throw on the table for you guys. Not necessarily related to what we're talking about, but something that I did read about recently in one of the pages that I sort of follow. The discussion was this guy was good at building cars, really good at building cars, but he was lousy at painting them. And so what he wanted was to get someone else to do the paint job. Then he'd take the model back and then put it together and then enter it into a competition. And guys are up in arms about that, saying, well, you can't really do that because
It's not your work.
it's not your work. But
If it's acknowledged and credit is given for what parts, that's different too.
well, this is the thing. This is the conundrum, because what about those guys who go and purchase resin parts for their models and put them on? I mean, that's not their work.
Photo etch, you can get painted photo etch now for cockpits.
Exactly the same.
Yep. Oh, what about a 3D printed? Because people are often in the sort of like, oh, 3D printed, is that really modelling? You know, when you put 3D printed parts in.
Of course
Well,
it is.
if you got to glue the bugger and paint it, you're modelling.
Yeah, but if this guy acknowledges, he says, I'm a lousy painter. Like, he can't paint to save himself.
Well, see, this
And
is...
so he does all the other work. He just doesn't do the paint job.
We should just practice.
Well, no, that,
yeah,
but
that's
the
outside.
ethical question
Yeah.
is that can he still then enter it in a modelling competition?
Well, as long as he acknowledges that he didn't actually do the painting,
It's a weird slippery slope.
It is, because when it comes to the
done.
judges,
But how
how are they going to
No,
judge
it's
it?
already done actually. I've seen it. We know someone who's had it done, where they've built a ship completely, and then someone's purchased that ship, and they've taken to a show and they've entered it, but they've entered it and noted that the person who built it is on the ticket.
Huh.
Oh, is that like kind of like lodging on behalf of someone, right? Like this guy can't
No,
attend.
he was now the owner,
Yeah.
but he didn't build it because he'd purchased it.
I think
Built.
I think that should still be allowed, as long as it's
Well,
like
how
the
can you-
original person is mentioned.
Because the judges aren't judging whether they're judging how well the kits could put together against the criteria, aren't they?
Yep. They're purely judging,
Yes.
not the person, they're judging the
model.
result.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as long as, I think in credit, like if the person painting it is acknowledged that you do a great job painting, and that's why the kit got the result, I don't see a problem there. However, if you're going to enter a kit and take all the credit when you did only one part of the work, that I would have an issue with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an issue like that years ago. Built a guy the old monogram 72 scale B52.
Mm.
And yeah, he entered into a competition under his own name. This cheeky bugger.
Did you see it in the competitions and walk past the table?
Yep.
You should have done a bit
Had
of
a
trip.
quick-
Yeah,
Whoops.
accidentally tripped
No,
over
just
and
a-
plan on the table.
I just had a quick chat to the judges,
Yeah.
head judge, and said, you might want to know that I built that.
Yeah.
I wonder what the actual, like, I imagine it to be a bit different for some events than others, but I wonder how the judging actually, where they draw the line on this, because it is
I
a
don't know,
really
because and this is the
murky
thing with
thing.
drawing the lines, because you have to state whether it's out of the box or not.
Mm.
And if you state it's not out of the box, the judges already accept that parts on that kit, well, in fact, the whole damn kit is not yours anyway, because you bought it already pre-made. You've just assembled it.
That's it.
Glued it.
That's my point.
Yes.
So I mean, like, at what point do you at the shallowest part of the slippery slope?
Yes.
It's like, well, okay, well, how much are you prepared to take this sort of
Yeah,
thing? If you're against
yeah,
it,
yeah.
how far are you prepared to take it? Because you
Yeah.
can go, oh, well, why did you buy the Guns pre-mixed paint? Why didn't you just make it out of like red, green, and blue or whatever it is?
Yeah,
Why didn't you
yeah.
crush the rocks and put the liquid solvent in there? And
Well, I thought that'd be a
carrier
bit of
film.
a nice sort of ethical dilemma to leave the show on.
Yeah, it's
But before we head off, we've actually got to have a crack at our Canadian mates overseas, don't we?
If you want, Dave, go for
Well, I'm not going to... You're the one who are all fired up about it, Ian.
it. I'm not fired up. I'm just the one that started it.
Exactly. Well, actually, we're going to blame you for the bloody moose detector.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, our friends over at Scale Model Podcast, and it's a great show.
It is,
run
yes.
by Stuart and Anthony. So if you want to listen to them, just put in Scale Model Podcast and you'll get their show. So to recap, if you remember, Ian's been sitting over the other side of the bench there, shooting some pot shots across the water, saying that the FA-18s that we're sending across to Canada should have moose detectors mounted on them.
Yeah, I remember this.
And they've fired back now, saying that when I go over there in January, the Canadian Air Force is going to hand me the shoeroos
Yes.
that they have taken off the FA-18s that we've sold them, so I can bring them back.
Because apparently our kangaroos have the ability to jump very, very high.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's just a part of the fun, mate.
So actually, we haven't come up with a good sort of comeback yet, have we?
No, I'll leave it to you.
Well, leave it. No, I'm not going to. I'm going over there. I don't want to
That's
say
right.
anything that's going to land me up with a Mountie sort of coming trooping me away to some jail over there. So I'm going to be very careful about what I say.
Well, it's going to end up on like one of those 90s thrillers movies where some guy's tracking you through the snow,
Yes.
Yeah.
like Cliffhanger or something.
Yes.
Now, that'd be
dear.
funny to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Only to laugh at him, and then we could just nick off.
Yes. He just
See you, Dave. Have fun out there in the snow.
takes a roll and just starts rolling down the hill.
Oh, geez, you guys.
Yep.
You guys. Michael, thanks so much for coming on the show again.
Yes.
Very much appreciate
Yes.
the long drive you had to make to get out here.
Thank you, team. Appreciate coming down and chatting about models.
No dramas at all. Any closing comments or a sign-off, perhaps?
Not a sign off, but just enjoy modelling. Model what you like. Don't take it too seriously.
Very good. Ian?
Well, photo etch is your friend. There you go. Swipe. Quick.
Edward, photo etch is your friend.
Oh, Edward's all right, yeah.
Flyhawk's all right. Pontos is all right.
Pontos,
Pontos.
yes.
Just don't use
In-
trumpeter.
Infini,
Yeah, Infinity's good too.
yeah. Fujimi's own, not so good.
What about Mark 1 design?
Yeah, I've got Mark 1. Yep. Got that from me Graf Zeppelin.
Ooh, Graf Zeppelin off.
Julian, you've had a couple of weeks to think about a good sign-off. Have you got one yet?
No, I don't spend my time thinking about things like that. I spend my time building.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Our next show, I've actually tracked down a truck builder. So I'm going to be talking
there we
about
go.
building trucks.
Excellent.
And I know absolutely nothing about truck building, so it's going to be an interesting sort of show. So we'll have him on the telephone, and he's going to be dialing in and have a chat with us. Thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you in a fortnight.